This is the PKF Texas Entrepreneurs Playbook. I'm Russ Capper, this week's guest host, and I'm here at the Gulf Coast Regional Family Forum with Dell Walker, tax practice leader at PKF Texas and one of the founders of the event. Welcome to the Playbook, Dell.
Well, welcome, Russ. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here with us today.
Bet. Well, tell us about this event.
Well, this is an event that the vision kind of came together about 4 years ago for this. When I was in Chicago, and I attended something where a situation where family members and advisors came together sharing best practices and learning from one another in an environment and developing business relationships. And the thought was, why can't Houston? Why not now?
Right.
And a little slow, but 4 years later, we're here today. Today's event was an overwhelming success with guests from around the country, around the state, here in Houston, 170 strong at the Houstonian.
Wow.
Comprised of family members, the folks that work for family members in the office, and their advisors. We've had a great day today. Very interactive, great panels, great speakers.
Okay. And these are actually all high net worth families, right?
That is correct. They're either affluent families or their affluence is still concentrated in a family business.
Okay.
Between the two from that standpoint.
Okay. And they get together at this event and learn about things that are important
that
to
are
people
relevant.
that fall into that category.
Exactly. I mean,
Right.
topics of discussion range today in terms of what is going on and trends across the country and what we call an SFO, a single family office,
Okay.
or an MFO, a multifamily
Okay.
office. We talked about issues like security. The world we live in today through the net obviously has greater challenges, especially if you have things that you're concerned about.
Right.
We had several panels very relevant to the city we live in.
Right.
We had a great panel on energy. We had some great folks that are operators in the energy space, backed by private equity, as well as folks in the investment banking business and analysts from the energy space. It was an interesting, lively discussion, very relevant to all of us here.
Absolutely. Well, in fact, that was something that I wanted to question you about. Is that the kind of doldrums that the energy's in, which means Houston's in right now.
Right.
Is that good for this event or bad for this event?
That's a great question because people ask me, how did we end up having this? When we defined success for this event, initially we thought we were hoping to get to 70 or 80 people.
Right.
Which was a significant increase over last year.
Right.
And we did 100 over that. And
Wow.
people said, why? I think we reached out to people nationally, and so there's a growing trend that people realize where Houston's place is in the national picture of the country, as well as from a commerce standpoint. It's clearly known as one of the top 2 cities in the country for commerce.
Right.
And I think when times are like this, Houstonians, I've found it here, Houstonians engage.
Okay.
They want to come together. It's always been a very inclusive city versus exclusive, and I think these times bring people together. They want to come together and talk and network and see if we can find a path forward out of this.
Okay.
That's my takeaway.
Okay, and this is going to continue to be an annual event?
Yes. This is our second year, and our goal is we're already talking about next year. And so probably in the next 90 days, we'll probably make an announcement on save the date for next year.
Okay.
Figure out who we're going to be targeting to join us from an organizer standpoint and talk to our attendees about what we think is relevant from a content standpoint next year, because obviously we can't groundhog this, right, and just do it again.
Right.
We need to find out what's relevant and timely a year from now. So we're very excited, but the goal is to make this an annual reoccurring event that's part of the fabric of what goes on in our great city here.
Okay, Dell, well, thank you very much for sharing that with us and having us here at the event.
All right, appreciate it.
You bet.
Take care.
You bet. And this has been another Thought Leader production brought to you by PKF Texas Entrepreneurs Playbook.